Okay, everybody's got a fucking podcast. I mean, we have a podcast, so obviously anyone can do it.
Wait, this is a podcast?
Are you recording right now?
Technical difficulties.
No, you don't have to say anything. I'm going to edit it out.
Technical difficulties.
Okay.
I put mayonnaise on a pickle.
It was not the best, but it might have been the worst.
Do my feet? I mean, my feet stink, right?
Yeah. Planet Terror.
Were you
Part 2 of a Grindhouse two-parter.
Were you terrified watching Planet Terror?
Not once,
No.
actually. I should mention this podcast apparently sponsored by Coke, since we're both drinking a Coke. Yeti and Blue Yeti, apparently. Interesting. It's not actually, but we'd love to sponsor.
Please pay us money.
Give us money. No, it's just funny. I was like, oh, we're both like both rocking a Coke.
How much brand recognition can we get within a single frame, do you think?
Let's see, I got Star Wars on. You got a band shirt on. Oxford's red. We got a microphone. What's the back of this tablet say? Oh, it's a Prime tablet.
Yeah.
Like that?
I don't know if we want Amazon involved with this. Jeff Bezos will sue us.
Yeah, pretty hard, actually.
Yeah.
It's Planet Terror. First thoughts?
It was weird. So I hadn't seen this one before or anything. It gave me vibes of some of like the old weird.
Wait, had you seen Death Proof?
No,
Okay. Alright, anyway.
you're good.
You hadn't said it before, and so then when you said that, I was like, oh wait, have you seen Death Proof? Before this? Okay.
You're good.
Yeah.
So I hadn't seen this one either, but it gave me a lot of vibes of some of like the other kind of older weird zombie movies, which is something I used to watch with my brother a ton. So I kind of like some of like the vibes I got out of that, where it's like some scenes were like kind of awkward and funny when I don't know if they really should have been.
Yeah.
But there were a lot of scenes that just crept up throughout this that I was just like, this is so weird and stupid, but I absolutely love it.
I think I love that this movie is unapologetically just like, hey, we're here to kill zombies.
Yeah.
Like, there's some of this going on over here and over there, but like,
We just want to shoot zombies.
Bottom line, there's some gross shit.
Yeah.
We're here to gross you out and murder zombies, okay?
Hope you like testicles.
I hope you like testicles, by the way. So we open up. You just got your classic asshole strip club manager. Because the opening scene is Cherry.
Yeah. Cherry
I was like, because she plays Pam in Death Proof, so I'm like, Pam, Rose McGowan, that's the actress's name.
Almost there.
Cherry dancing on stage. It's just to pretty much what turns out to be the theme of the whole movie.
Yeah.
Robert Rodriguez scored this. We went through basically some of the overlapping characters and whatnot in the part 1 of this pod. So, Death Proof. So, go back and look at it, if you want to see any of that. If not, fuck me, I guess.
Anyways. I made specific note, though, because, we were off to a good start. She's just grinding up on this pole and looking hot, as every intro should start.
She looks good.
She looks good.
She's good looking.
It's almost like they knew what they were doing. But I made specific note on when do we get a James Bond intro like this?
Yeah, just a stripper on the pole. Just you know what's funny in License to Kill that we'll cover today that probably won't come out until I don't know.
Not today.
Not today for sure. This is October. I don't know that License to Kill comes out till after the first of the year, really. But
stay tuned.
Stay tuned. But there's this like 80s kind of scene going on in there. 89.
Okay.
So we're like approaching the end of the 80s.
Still
but there's
clinging to 80
some bad
tropes,
80s
yeah.
stuff. And it's the most non-Bond scene ever. And there's just some girl. It's like kind of it's not a strip club, but there are girls dancing on stage.
Well, go-go dancers versus strippers.
No, you're right. You're right.
It's an important distinction.
It's a very important distinction. But yeah, so it's just funny because it's the most not Bond thing ever, and it's just this weird.
Yeah.
80s-ish bar, but no one's stripping, but there's like two girls on a stage, like on these different platforms that you might call them stages. Anyway, back to this.
Sure.
The asshole strip club manager just walking through. And did you watch special features for this at all, or?
As far as like him being like the like realtor.
Yeah,
like,
Robert Rodriguez's realtor.
Yeah. I was like, that's so weird because like he sold the vibe for sure.
Yeah.
Like he didn't give a shit. He was just cold and straight to the point. I was like, oh wow.
Well, and he was like, and it was funny listening to Robert Rodriguez talk about having a minute because he goes, the guy kept trying to like he wasn't just being himself, and he's like, no, I cast you
To play
because
yourself.
I just want you to be you, like
Yeah.
just talk how you would talk, and so then. He said, like, dude would be imitating Robert, imitating him.
Right. So it was like, what should I look like? He's like, well, this. He's like, okay, I'll try and do that. I'll try and be you being me.
It's like, you don't have to try to do anything. Yeah, that was funny. I didn't really understand the leaving policy. What was the...
As
all,
far
all
as
strippers must have a finger and an exit note,
Yeah.
or whatever the fuck it was.
I don't really understand what that would actually be.
I don't know what the finger would be.
Or what an exit note would be.
Is it just a really dirty leaving policy? It's like, hey, if you're leaving early, I gotta finger you. Like,
Yeah.
what's going on?
Or is that like you're not leaving with money or anything kind of thing? Like if you're leaving early, did someone pay you to like go leave and have sex with them? So you know how you would finger someone for evidence? Maybe, I don't know.
Interesting. Yeah, I didn't get that one at all. I feel like it was... Maybe there's a whole go-go dancing lingo we don't understand because we're not in it.
Just in case my wife is listening or watching, I don't know enough about strip clubs or go-go dancing parlors or anything.
I've never, huh?
No.
Never, ever.
No.
Well,
Not even that one time.
I legitimately never, ever. I'm like the lamest person you can meet. So... Yeah, so I feel like it was just an excuse for the line, so she could be like, well, here's my finger. And then she takes money out of his hand, and he's like, here's my leaving papers. Or note, or whatever the fuck the thing said. I should have wrote that exact thing down. But.
I thought it was cute, though. Because he just let her go. He didn't give a shit.
Yeah, he's just kind of like, what? Okay. Huh?
He's like, stay in character, stay in character, stay in character.
Yeah.
He's like, I think I had the lines. Fuck!
Alright, so what do you think of Scientist Guy? I can't make my mind up on him. I don't think he can really be a good guy because he keeps people's balls.
Yeah.
So that's like real serial killer trophy kind of concept. And then he's not completely bad because then he does want to save the Earth, but also he's created this thing that... Or, I don't know if he created it, but he definitely has harvested it.
Yeah.
And the thing that kills people makes them turn into zombies.
So the mindset I'm of is he's still a bad person.
Yeah.
Because what he's more so doing is like exerting control over a terrible thing. Like if he's in charge of a cure, then like it's still him in control of the situation. So I still don't think there's any really good in him, just that he knows that he has that control over the situation and that he can cure whoever he wants to or let whoever he wants to die.
Word.
I think the bad guy tendency still lives through that.
Yeah.
I did make specific note, like before I knew they were balls, and he just had the bag. I wrote down, feed me the evil chicken wings. And then immediately underneath it, oh, those are balls. I was a complete 180. I was like, oh, like that, you know, I didn't understand what it would have been.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, yeah, those are balls. I was just like, oh, and those are balls. Okay.
Feed me the evil chicken wings.
They said they look mad evil. And now I get it.
Oh, those are balls.
Oh, those are balls. Okay.
Yeah, okay, so he's evil.
Mad evil.
So then there's a quick shootout. You know, and then testicles are on the ground.
I did write down, not the balls in all caps.
Not the balls.
Not the balls!
He says, Bruce Willis walks up to him, seems I've got you by the balls. And that's classic Bond shit right there.
It's so good!
And, you know, he's just like, you certainly have. where's the shit? He's like, everywhere, and he shoots the gas, and it's going everywhere. And some dude runs right through it, and his face just starts
melting right off.
Real cool stuff.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't understand why you would see a gas. Those soldiers had to have had at least a mild context of why they were there. And he just he beeline for it. He was like, I gotta get in on this shit.
Yeah.
They just needed someone's face to melt.
Yeah, I mean, it looked cool as fuck.
Yeah.
So you have to do it.
God, a lot of the effects of just everyone looked so gross, and it was so good.
It was really good.
It was real good.
And then so he goes scrambling for the balls once everybody kind of breaks, and he's throwing balls in his pocket.
Trying to find him. He's like,
not my balls! Jesus Christ, man.
Hey man, we had a foot fetish in Death Proof. We got a ball fetish in Planet Terror.
Yeah,
it's fine.
It's all good. Not a good look. Testicles in your pocket, and then whatever happens, somebody on the roof, and he's like, "Oh, balls!" It's like, of course.
I was really waiting. I was like, I hope this carries through every scene instead we're just making ball buster jokes.
Of course, at the end, he is like, he's got another bag of balls.
Yeah.
What is it with you and the balls, dude?
God, it had to have been so time consuming to get
a
all
power
those balls
thing.
together.
It's a power thing.
Yeah. Got you by the balls!
Especially in this, where you kind of sort of have, a time structure on this situation. And so you took the time for these other guys you killed to,
pull down their pants.
Hey, do you think we could go find the general? Just hold on a second.
Gotta get his balls. Oh, yeah. Those are good.
That's good. That's good ball. Hey, you have a bag with I don't know, what preserves balls, like an amniotic fluid or something. You got a sack with some fluid that preserves balls.
It's no, I got some pickle juice though. That's fine.
That'll work. And that how much he cherishes the balls. And he just throws the sack to Bruce Willis, and he's like, "What's this?" He's like, "They're balls." And he's
he was so proud.
Throws it back to him. And
he's like, "Look how many balls I put in a bag."
Also, smoking, cool movies.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I should have made that comment too back in Death Proof. I said girls smoking as an aesthetic because every time one of them was smoking, they just looked so fucking cool.
Well, I mean, I just think smoking
in general
is just cool.
Yeah.
That's why people do it. If
that's not why people do
that's
it.
That's 100% why people do it. Okay, listen. I'm just saying, anyone that smokes, I've never smoked, but if you're telling me that you've never thought about smoking because oh, that looks pretty cool, then you're lying to me. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You're lying.
Smoking as an aesthetic
is just cool.
Yeah.
That's why every person ever was like, I'm gonna have you wanna try a cigarette? As the other person's like, wanna try a cigarette?
Yeah.
And it's just well, yeah, it's pretty cool looking. I'll do that.
You look cool, maybe I'll be cool.
It looks cool. I bet that's why most people ever. That's not how you started smoking. Well, just send us an email. Explain your logic. I'm just saying smoking's cool. It's usually pretty heavy in Tarantino movies. It was not quite as heavy in Death Proof.
Yeah, we only got, I think, just a couple of scenes of them being outside smoking one.
But it's pretty heavy in this movie.
Yeah.
So, Fergie is apparently Dakota Block's mistress, girlfriend, whatever you want to call her. Kind of forgot. Fergie, good-looking gal.
Banging.
I don't know what she looks like these days, but,
she's probably still Fergalicious.
She's probably Fergalicious.
Yeah.
So Red Apple cigarettes not mentioned in Death Proof. But Red Apple cigarettes, I don't know if we've had this conversation, but that's always Tarantino's brand of choice.
Mm-hmm.
It's his made-up cigarette brand.
Yeah, you know what? And I think I remember when I was looking through some notes too, was that that's what they use in Pulp Fiction. It was
any Tarantino movie where there's cigarettes typically.
Yeah.
It's a Red Apple cigarettes. Have you watched Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Nah.
All right, we're doing Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, you
Yep.
and me. Once we get there, I gotta get to the other Tarantinos, but I love it. And then Rick Dalton is just such a hilarious character, and some of the post-credit stuff is he's doing not post credit, but like kind of as credits are rolling, they're showing like cuts of him doing Red Apple cigarettes
Sure.
Red Apple cigarette ads, and he's smoking a Red Apple cigarette, and he's like, he's doing the whole thing. Take a bite, a Red Apple, and then a cut, and he's like, God, it tastes like shit. This is fantastic.
Yeah. Probably saves them on having to pay anybody for actually having any branded stuff.
Yeah,
it's
kind of the thing in every
Yeah.
like most Tarantino movies where there's cigarettes, you don't really see any other cigarette brands.
Sure.
So
Maybe that should be our sponsor.
Red Apple, brought to you by Red Apple Cigarettes. So that's very fun. I just thought it was funny it was not in Tarantino's actual movie. It was in Robert Rodriguez's movie. And it's very brief, too. It's just like there's like a crumpled up Red Apple Cigarettes thing kind of like on the bar in the barbecue place. So, but yeah, just Red Apple Cigarettes. All right. So, I don't know what this one is. You ever write a note and you just go,
why did I write that? What did I mean?
I might not remember who everybody is right this moment. Oh, never mind, I got it. Joe, the first guy that's bit when the doctors get to the hospital.
Yeah.
And they're looking at stuff. I was just like, it's been like a little over a week because I watched this stuff and then I was like, here, borrow the movies, watch them, come back. And then I was like, I don't know what this note means at all. It's been a week.
Note to self, add more context to notes.
Yeah, all this note said is, Joe got bit. Very gross.
Yeah.
Which usually,
Well, yeah, I mean, we saw the bite. It looked
my...
pretty rough, so maybe you were just
usually
like, wow,
it
that
just
looks...
sparks some things in my mind. Your own notes can just go like, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, I know where I was going with that. And that one, I was like, yeah, I got nothing.
Well, so in that scene where they were kind of like going over it was like him and that other doctor. They were putting up like all that weird shit on one of the monitors as they were talking to him.
Turns out the guy with the melty dick was Tarantino apparently later. Which, Tarantino's in this one, so that's fun.
But yeah, I was like, we saw a bunch of gruesome shit on like the monitor or anything, but I was like...
And that guy's a real doctor. Did you watch that?
Oh, no.
Special features?
No.
Yeah, he said like that's like I think Rodriguez said it's his doctor. And,
Dr. Felix, I think, yeah.
Yeah, and he was talking to him. He's like, no, it's like, just be you. Like, again, like, same problem with his real estate guy, where he's like, no, just you be
you. You don't have to act, just show up.
Yeah, because he was saying, when he talks to him, just in real life, and anything you ask the guy about, he just spouts off and just goes on, like, this and this and this, and, it's got, that could be a thing, because, this happened to this one guy, and he's like, yes, you just be that.
Yeah, really good cadence just to the way he talked and
so that's just him being natural. Like, oh yeah, well that's called and,
But just hilarious to me that like you just have these two doctors like he's got an immediate problem they could be looking into, and he's like, oh yeah, look at all this other fucked up shit. Isn't that neat?
He just can't. Yeah, he starts rolling.
See that one?
Look at that guy's dick. Isn't that gross?
Oh, it's rough.
But yeah, Joe's bite very gross. And then he's got, what was it? What did he say? Like black, something on his, black abscesses. There we go. I always forget that word.
Yeah, his tongue looked mad gross.
I can never think of the word abscesses.
Yeah.
Abscess, whatever.
They used like the weird, like wet, spongy, like sound effect on it too when he was touching it. I was just like, oh.
A lot of uncomfortable stuff. In this one. Yeah.
They knew what they were doing.
Oh, and Zoe Bell's a zombie in this movie. I didn't write that down. I saw it in the special features, and I just remembered it right now. And I was like, if I don't say it, I'm going to forget it. So Zoe Bell's one of the zombies eating the paramedic dude that's always real weird.
Okay.
With Dr. Block saying showing him the trail of blood leading out of the room and all that stuff.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
That dude, and I guess that's just Rodriguez's friend.
Really?
And he was just like,
he had this like weird like smile on his face like every single scene.
He's like, I just want to be in a zombie movie.
Yeah,
and,
I mean, shoot, me too.
He let me do it, so he's getting eaten. We'll get there. Okay. I had like a smile on my face, and I was like, wait, we'll get there.
We'll get there.
So Fergie, she gets eaten on the side of the highway.
As is tradition.
Why would anyone ever wear high heels?
I don't know.
Like, how is that even a thing? Like, what asshole was like, oh, women should wear high heels? Because, like, anytime you watch a woman walk in high heels, like, that hasn't experienced that. Because, I mean, obviously there's women that are, like, highly practiced and they just roll right through it. But just the thought of, like, putting on high heels and walking in, oh, my God.
I mean, I can't even walk in a straight line, like, normal shoes. So I couldn't imagine wearing heels and trying to, like, run or, like, evade anything.
Zombies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then you got some weapons, I'm just flat-footed, then, you got some...
I think Quentin
Some stabby
Tarantino, I
moves.
guess, bit Fergie in that scene. Did you see that in the special features?
No.
He fucking bit her. And she's like walking around, he bit me! Because I guess he was being one of the zombies
Oh, okay.
in the dark there, so... anyhow. Yeah, just why would anyone wear high heels? And then Michael Biehn is the sheriff. You familiar with Michael Biehn?
Not
He's
really.
Kyle Reese in the very first Terminator.
Okay, yeah.
He's cool. Yeah, he's a big asshole in this movie, though.
Yeah.
But I like Michael Biehn does a good job. I dig him. AKA Kyle Reese. It's funny how supporting cast can never figure out the writing on the wall. Like, people walking through the hallway. People walking through the hallway just diseased in this hospital.
Yeah.
And like this girl got her leg eaten, and for some reason, the sheriff, Michael Biehn, is just suspicious of him. Like, what'd you do with her leg? It's like, you see all these people walking around, like a lot of weird shit's going on.
So I even made comment because of just what he was doing. He's like a missing leg that is now a leg that's missing. Like I was like, what the fuck?
Oh fuck! I thought maybe I didn't write this down. I thought about writing it down.
And then he's like, what if I could find the leg? It's like, who fucking cares about the leg?
Yeah, he's just so stuck on the leg. It's like, no, look, you're not putting it back on now.
Yeah.
Look at it.
But it's like, that was the alibi. If he could find the leg, then like everything was chill.
You can find a leg, you can leave.
Yeah.
But
What if I can find the leg? It's like, go fuck yourself for the leg, bro.
Jesus Christ. Stop thinking about the leg. Yeah, so that was funny. And then even when they're down at the fucking sheriff's station or office, that was like a fucking trailer. The
Yeah,
sheriff's trailer.
It was really weird, yeah.
And then here we have Sheriff Earl McGraw. He's walking out. He's like, you don't smoke, do you, Ray? He's like, no. Fucking liar.
Yeah, and like immediately after he pulls out his
he's like,
cigarette.
he gone? Yeah, he's gone. Okay. But, poor Earl, because, life's changed a little bit for everybody since Death Proof, Jungle Julie is dead. Dr. Dakota Block's trying to leave her husband. She's fucking Fergie, who's now dead. And apparently her mom's dying if Earl's her dad.
Yeah,
so
she's got cancer or something, right?
Earl's wife's dying, so, tough break for everybody.
Yeah.
Really. And then real tough break for Dr. Dakota Block because her son shoots himself because he's very dumb. Did you know that is Robert Rodriguez's son who played the boy?
So I looked that up this morning. Yeah.
Okay.
So full disclosure, I did not go through the special features.
Word.
But that was one of the things I was looking up this morning just to see if I could find anything else that was interesting. And I was like, he was like too disturbed by the scene. He didn't want it to be anyone else's kid or something. So he's like,
and he was like, he said he never told his son. Like, I'm sure he knows by now that it's 15 years later, but he never told his son that he killed him, and he actually kept filming him.
Yeah.
So there's a whole alternate movie where his son just lives the whole time.
Yeah.
And so he shot. So as far as his son knows, he lived. And then of course his son has siblings. And it's like, no, he didn't die in the movie. He lived.
Yeah.
And so at that point, I'd just be worried about the fucking asshole kids at school. Are like, no, you're dead.
Yeah.
There's an episode of, I can't remember. There was an old sitcom called Yes Dear that I saw when I would watch when I was a kid with my mom. I think I was like 6 or 7.
Okay.
I don't remember, but it was a long time ago. And I remember there's the one episode where the kid's looking at pictures, like the younger sibling, and it's like, hey, hey, that's my shirt, because the older sibling's wearing his clothes. He's like, no, it was mine first, because you were dead.
Rough.
Just, that's all I can think about with, little kids. Just, one kid's like, you're dead. And then, of course, he has to go home to his dad. Daddy, my dad. But he's, Robert Rodriguez is like, well, technically I didn't lie to him, because there's a whole cut where, where he's alive. And at the end of the movie, if you watch all the way, like when the credits end,
see him like playing on the
He's
beach and got his pets and everything.
Yeah. So
weird home life that he has a tarantula, a scorpion, and a turtle.
Yeah.
And I don't know how they made it in that container all the way there.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Apparently that kid's really into spiders too. Like he was actually holding tarantulas and shit. So
cool kid. Word.
Anyway. Yeah. So. Barbecue, whatever his fucking face.
JT?
Yes, JT calls the sheriff. He's like, I'm not calling my brother right now. I'm calling the sheriff. He's like, okay.
I liked his hot dog phone.
Yes.
It was nice. Good touch.
Yeah. He goes, so they talk, whatever. He's like, these guys, when they won't buy any barbecue, oh, never mind, they just came in. They're talking about the recipe or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's kind of foreshadowing. He's like, I could be bleeding like a stuck pig and I wouldn't give you a recipe. If I was dying in your arms, I wouldn't give it to you. And they were both bleeding like stuck pigs and dying in each other's arms. And they gave up the recipes. So
yeah. That was like a surprisingly sweet scene out of all this. I was like, that's nice.
Ah, the brothers made up.
Yeah. I mean, it was good.
You'd think it'd be right about now when the sheriff would realize Ray didn't steal her leg and that he's not the bad guy when the zombies attack down at the sheriff trailer, which is my new favorite term on this podcast. Anyway, the sheriff trailer. Yeah, all these zombies are everywhere, and then he's still he's
super cautious. He's like,
Ray, give me the gun.
It's like, are you fucking me right now? Do you see the Zambamba's coming for us?
Don't think. You still think I cut the leg off?
Yeah. Because even there, I think we still see one of the guys get torn in half or torn apart, right? It was one of the...
Well, first of all, the guy walks in, his fingers bit off.
That happens all the time.
Sure. No, that's fair.
Yeah.
And then, zombies everywhere. Just...
Yeah.
I do like... zombie throws the dude into the car. There is one thing that we should watch after this, where there's a cool part of the special features in Planet Terror, where it just says 10-minute film school with Robert Rodriguez.
Okay.
And he just goes through all the CGI stuff and how they layered stuff over, and it's all too much without visually seeing it. I didn't feel confident that I could get the message across doing it on pod, even with video. Just me going I'm never gonna portray it right. So, but it is cool if you can check it out at home if you get the Planet Terror DVD, or maybe they threw this on YouTube. I don't know. But Robert Rodriguez 10-minute film school on the Planet Terror stuff is pretty cool, showing you a lot of stuff. So, but yeah, that guy gets thrown in the car. That was one of the things they showed.
I made note here that, well, number one, people get torn apart like mad easy.
Yeah.
Because obviously we got to get as much gore crammed into as small of a time frame as possible just so it's repulsive. But literally anytime anybody got shot, just the blood packets exploding off of them.
Yeah.
It was so visceral.
And
just because that was the most zombies we got to see get shot in a scene so far.
Yeah.
Just any time a bullet hit somebody, it was just this huge splash of blood coming off them.
Well, and apparently that scene where the dude's on the car and he's just getting ripped open.
Yeah.
And all the zombies are clawing at him. Apparently that was a whole thing that they showed, and then I guess they were like, hey man, that's a lot. And so they pretty much just showed what they showed, but it was this whole thing. They were getting in there and just all on him. So really ripping his intestines out and stuff. Which then, once we put it on, cable with Walking Dead, it's cool.
It's a different era.
What do we... When did Walking Dead Season 1 come out? Was that 2011?
It kind of feels like it was earlier than that, though, doesn't it?
I'll look it up real quick. But, yeah, so, and then it's cool because it's the same. Obviously, the fact that we're thinking about that and it's the same guy, Greg Nicotero, to do
2010.
Okay, 2010.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, yeah, that makes perfect sense because it was fucking Season 10 in 2020. Aren't they on Season 12? Or did they stop?
Dude, I have no idea what's going on with that show. I kind of dropped off at some point, and there's spin-off shows, and
I dropped off once they beat Negan. Because after a while it was just a lot. I liked Fear the Walking Dead for a second there.
Sometimes you just miss the world kind of beat in there, and then it's like, yep, it's the same shit.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the first 2 seasons of Walking Dead, you're never going to get any better than that.
Yeah.
3's good, but just that intro to it, and like those original characters, I mean, they really, really killed it. And then after a while, it's still good.
Yeah.
But after a while, I just got kind of... Once it was people fighting people, it just kind of...
Yeah.
I think it ran its course.
It's probably realistic. At some point, you just
it's
start...
absolutely realistic.
Going after each other, but yeah.
But, I mean, the novelty's gone after a while, and that's why they go to essentially just everybody fighting wars. And
yeah.
But I really dig the first 2 seasons. I think that's the best.
Yeah.
So
I'm with you.
Yeah, so right about now, Sheriff Haig should probably realize, hey, Ray didn't take her leg. That's not the bad guy. And then he's like, I'm going to get Cherry. And then Haig's like, fine, we're taking my car. Then his car explodes.
It's like, I'm riding with you.
I'm riding with you. Like, no, didn't break, just riding with you. Just still angry.
Just roll with it.
They never go into the history of Ray in this movie.
No.
By the way.
But like, it's always just barely alluded to that Ray's some, like, super badass.
Yeah. I mean, especially when there's the real missing part of this movie, which is fun. Which
I was
talk
upset.
about that. Well, I think we'll talk about it when we get there, but I kind of liked it. Apparently it was probably discussed in the missing reel. I like Robert Rodriguez to release a whole movie just called The Missing Reel. It's just that, but for some reason it takes like 2 hours. It's just 2 hours of in between.
But like every now and then there'd just be like a quick cut of some bullshit that you can't even decipher. And you're just like, oh god, the numbers Mason, what do they mean?
What do they mean? Yeah, so they just never go into that. That was a note I had there. I had a couple notes on Dakota's exit from the hospital.
It was so good.
I'm sure she could have snuck out. She could have found a way.
Nope. Just fucking yeet yourself out the window.
It's like, no, I'm jumping out the window.
Oh, man.
I think I can kind of cover that one a little bit on what he said for the special effects.
Sure.
Whereas, so he said, they basically like had the stunt person like jump from this floor and then jump from this floor because they couldn't just like have the person jump
Yeah, it's a big
from
fall
the top of
even
the building because they
padding
needed
down
them needed them crashing into stuff.
Sure.
But for cutting it together, it was like jump from here, and then jump from the pad, and then it was like a way small jump, like crashing into stuff, and then to cut it all, to cut the fall to the mat, and then the crashing together, like they use the car to help blend it, so that's why that car goes by.
Gotcha.
To cut the two things together. So it was kind of cool.
Good trick.
Cool to hear him talk about all of it. And when he
I love the commitment to like not just having everything be CG just to make it easy.
Yeah. Talking about her gun leg, like I guess they would just wrap it in green. And,
So I actually watched a video of like a guy trying to like do it himself kind of thing, and it didn't look that difficult.
Yeah. No, it really. Once we talked about it, it's pretty much you probably just need the fucking computer with the program, and you got to know how to do it, right? I mean, which I don't know. That seems like a stupid thing to say. It's like as long as you know how to do it. It's like, well, no shit,
no shit. But yeah, it didn't look like it was like as like fancy of a trick to do some of those scenes, and I liked it.
Yeah, so I'm sure she could have snuck out, but she jumped out the window. I'm pretty sure if my hands were numb, I could have figured out a better way opening that door.
Yeah, you got teeth.
I mean,
well, I think it had like a push button on the handle, right?
And so then she was like doing her heel, but then she just broke her wrist. And then I guess apparently that was the thing in the special features. She has like whatever you call it with those like the wrists that go
like
it's double jointed or something like
jointed,
that.
yeah.
So she can do the whole like move her wrists goofy ways, and so like she was actually that was her.
Yeah, they were able to sell that
doing
pretty
that.
well then.
Yeah. But that was funny. She's like, just that moment.
I like the just the small ways it kind of takes you back and be like, this movie's fucking stupid, bro. It's so good.
I mean, because if your hand's in there, I don't know. I feel like
you could have like just thrown your hip into it to hit the button and then pull. Like,
well, if you, I don't know. I'm just saying I would have figured it the fuck out.
yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, I mean, Big Brain, once she got in the car and, like, used her watch to, like, grab the stick and everything,
Yeah.
like, I mean, she'd had some good moves in there. Just not on opening the door.
Yeah. I do like when her son's in the car and it's like, look, we're both toothless, Mom. And she's like, what? Oh, yeah, we are.
Poor gal.
Sheriff Haig sucks. Obviously, all hell is broken loose. Just drop the vendetta with Ray.
Yeah.
Just give him the fucking
it up,
gun.
man.
You get to the hospital, things are on fire, zombies and patients running around everywhere. And of course, Doofus, what's his fucking face that didn't get eaten at the sheriff trailer.
Mm-hmm.
Turned around, shot a patient. It's cool. It's fine. Just drop it, like all hell's broken loose and Ray's running around with knives, and it's like, what, you think he's gonna do less damage with the knives?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. What's the problem?
It was cool, though, because, he
He's
did
very
get to
cool.
kick the shit out of some Zambamos with some knives. It was a good scene.
It was very good. And then, okay, so there's that dude getting eaten. Zoe Bell's one of the zombies, the paramedic guy that's been like a goofball to the asshole to Dr. Block.
Yeah.
Which we didn't really go into him at all. I didn't throw him in my notes. Basically he's just kind of an asshole. And he's chewing on his glass thermometer all the time, and he keeps checking it. He's like, oh, it's to measure my level of calm. He's like, well...
Well, he's like constantly checking like his heart rate and everything too. Like,
yeah, which I didn't really get.
yeah, it almost like alluded like he had some kind of like health problem that was supposed to be relevant, but
Maybe it's just this
it didn't
whole
end up
thing
mattering.
Him and his wife.
Yeah.
Maybe there's an alternate storyline and another missing reel. I don't know. But, yeah, he's always chewing this thing. And like, oh, you're not going to be very calm when you bite that and it breaks.
Well, then he
So,
said it's like it's not
2
very
seconds
sanitary either. So like as he was like pulling down like the tarps to see all the dead people, like he would grab a tarp, like definitely touch the person,
Yeah.
put it back. It's like,
not very sanitary. Not if I'm the only one chewing
Yeah.
on it. It's like,
So
not
like-
if you're touching dead people stuff.
yeah. So I was like, he should have been infected like immediately.
Yeah.
But
And then, yeah. Oh, and yeah, I skipped over. Dakota Block has her friends, the red, yellow.
yeah,
Red, yellow.
might
Blue-
be just red,
blue?
yellow, blue, yeah.
Yeah, red, yellow, blue.
Because the red one is the last one. I think yellow was the first one.
Red,
Blue
you'll never
was the
see me
middle.
again. Yellow friends take sting off the blue. You'll barely feel it. That means my yellow friend's working, and then the red friend. And apparently, there was some anesthesiologist that did that to one of Rodriguez's friends, who he was like talking about it, and he was like, "Oh, that's pretty cool.
It's pretty neat.
Throw that in."
Yeah.
Yeah.
It definitely made her seem like crazy bitch a little bit.
Yes.
Not to mention that she like had the the strap on her leg with like the shootable syringes and shit.
Yeah.
But we did get to see some, upper thigh action of her, which
Well,
was
God loves some upper thigh action.
which was nice.
Yeah. All right, yeah, so that guy's an asshole, basically, and he says Joe's arm's got to be amputated, can't very well cut your chest off.
Yeah.
So that's happening, and the dude's like, you want to be in here for your friend's arm getting cut off? He's like, nah.
No, you got it.
And then he should have gone in there, because then that doctor's dead, and then the dude comes out with the saw later. As all hell's breaking loose, which is a little later in this scene, we'll just cover it now. He shuts the curtain as if that's going to do anything, and then he cuts the curtain,
through it,
which is just
why?
like this. And then, he's trying to cut him. He cuts his glasses. The thing gets unplugged, so that doesn't work. And then what did he do? Throw up?
He grabbed one of the pustules off of his neck.
Yeah,
and,
he just rubbed it on Block's face.
yeah,
And then
that was mad.
his
grody.
face just got all goofy, and he pops up at the end. It's the whole thing.
Actual stressed out though watching him, and it is cutting the glasses in half.
Yeah.
Just because Oof.
Yeah.
Can't be stressed.
But then the paramedic dude's on the ground. Not today! Not today! Fucking Wednesday nights! It's like, oh god, I hate Wednesday nights. I always get torn apart by zombies.
Yeah.
It's funny.
It's the third time this month.
Yeah. No remorse from the... Or, not remorse. No sympathy from the babysitters.
Yeah.
You know, she comes home, hands all floppy, fucking just a mess, hairs everywhere, fucking mascara's running,
Like, you were supposed to be home at 10, just bitching at her.
She's just like, get out.
The fuck out, like kicking them out the front door or whatever.
Just no, like, oh my god, like, what happened to you? You cool? Like, what's...
Shit.
You want me to stick around? What the fuck's wrong with your head?
Foot fetish continues, though, because they were painting each other's toenails.
Yeah, it's like the other one's, like, slapping the other one in the tits with her foot.
Yeah. Kid you not, between these two movies, I probably wrote it down like 20 times. Foot fetish continues.
Yeah, so no sympathy from the babysitters. Next note is so you know, she picks up her son, they drive away, the babysitters are beating the car, the one falls off the back and they chase her on foot.
That to me I didn't understand, because it's like why? Like, why did, like, she's your employer.
Something's obviously wrong. She didn't pay you tonight. Yes.
Yeah.
I said just drop. Oh, and Fergie's shown dead with her brain eaten out of the back of her head.
Yeah.
Out of her skull. And they say no brainer. She's got no brain.
Oh, man.
Forgot to mention that one. That's back at the hospital before she jumps out of the window.
Gosh, some of these just land so good. Oh, this one's a no-brainer. Like, what do you mean? Missing a fucking brain.
Yeah.
So good.
I don't know what part this is referring to, but it's, you know, Ray not being able to have a gun still. And I just said, just drop it, Haig. Jesus, this is getting annoying. I said, natural selection at its finest with that kid shooting himself.
Like, not even 10 seconds after she got out of the fucking
she's
car.
halfway to the house.
Yeah.
Why'd she park so far away from the house, too?
For dramatic effect.
Yeah, I know. Dr. Block pops back up. He's kind of a little swollen.
Yeah.
And that the kid says in the beginning he's playing with his toys.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I'm going to eat your brains and gain your knowledge.
Yeah.
And Dr. Block says to Dr. Block, I'm going to eat your brains and gain your knowledge. That dude's creepy as fuck. I liked it.
I thought that was super funny, though, that he
He did good.
reused that line. I was
Yeah.
like, oh.
That's good. So then she's banging on the door trying to get in the house. She's carrying her dead son. And he's I just said nothing like a horde of zombies to clear up family squabbles.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I told you I don't want to see you anymore. And there's zombie, she's like, Dad!
We got stuff to do. And he's like, oh, all right.
Fine. And of course he's already got blood on his shirt. Like, that's not suspicious. But, you know, obviously
Yeah.
the mom
Shit's
turned on him.
Yeah.
So...
Was that one of the deleted scenes, too, where he actually had to kill her? Or did we ever actually see that?
You don't see her kill her. You don't see him kill her. And, yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't really have, like, a deleted scene section. It was just kind of in special features, and then, like, he mentioned the thing about his son. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
So. I don't know. I said, so the sheriff's talking about this record on Ray, like who he doesn't even know who he is. So
Yeah.
like, what record does he have?
Yeah.
And he's like, who are you, Ray? I mean, really? And
It's like, why don't you know?
so then you're this suspicious of him then? When you don't even know what the fuck he's done?
Yeah.
So I don't know. That was kind of a goofy
It's like, where does the actual suspicion come from?
I should mention, this is why the more recent notes I've started basically doing like paragraphs of like, this happens, here's my notes.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to sprinkle everything together, but this was a that process thing. So I'm still going back and being like, oh, and this happened in the movie. So, fucking, Cherry, you know, when those army trucks are going to the base, they're like really close, and then she gets a shard of something in her leg. She ends up at JT's barbecue.
Yeah.
She takes the thing out of her leg. Which I love, like, overlapping storylines. Like, she walks by and, like, Fergie's at the gas pump and all that shit. They're driving, Cherry and Ray are driving later. Fergie's getting eaten on the or no. Maybe not. I don't know. Anyway, moving past that. quick jumping ship. Cherry's at the barbecue place. That's where the Red Apple cigarettes were. That's where Ray's smoking a cigarette. Mm-hmm. Oh, hey, Cherry. But he called her some other name that he gave her, which I can't remember at this moment. She's going to be a stand-up comedian. He's like, you're not funny. He's like, well, that sucks. I've already booked all these shows all over town.
Yeah.
And then she's Cherry Darling if he wants to see her. And then she needs a ride. And I was like, yeah, she does. And
just gonna drive you home.
Then so that's how they get together. Then zombies move in the middle of the road. They crash. She gets her leg eaten. They're in the hospital. Ray goes to the sheriff's trailer, and then all that other stuff happens that we talked about.
Yep.
And here we are back at Ray and Cherry. So some other stuff happens, right? They're all kind of convened at JT's barbecue.
Are we gonna just gloss over the, him talking to Cherry at the hospital, breaking off the wooden leg of the table and just shoving it in her stump, and being like,
I think I addressed it when I was talking about the gun, but we can go ahead and do the leg thing.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I just want to say, we're already there at that point, but yeah, just walks in. He's murking all the Zambambas with the knives and stuff. Finds Cherry there, good old stump leg. She's like, I can't leave. I don't have a leg. Being all mopey and stuff.
She's just hiding under the sheet, by the way.
Door's not even closed. Yeah, she's a giant pussy. But it's fine. I would have been scared too. He's just like,
well, more a dope in that situation. Like the door's just open. I'm gonna hide with the sheet. That was more funny to me. But yeah.
Then just breaks the table, grabs the leg, just shoves it in her stump. And he's like, now you got a leg.
Which was. It's like, is that designed for, like, I don't know. Is that how that works?
Like, was there a mounting bracket?
Is that what that rectangle was? Is like, you just put something near this size in there and it'll latch.
If it fits, it sits.
Like a cat.
So,
they're all back at the JT's barbecue. She's sitting there in the back. I should have wrote down the joke she said to JT because I don't remember what the fuck it was. She said something about barbecue. No, I don't want any, yada yada. And then there's a joke that happens. I don't remember what the joke is. And then he says, you should be a comedian. He's like, see? She's like, see?
Yeah. Shit, yeah, I can't remember that joke.
Yeah, I have no idea what it was.
Might
have been about the barbecue. Maybe it was about the leg.
It's probably about the leg.
What about the... Well, I know he's like... She's like, what about the leg? And he goes, that's funny.
Oh, yeah, when she... Yeah, you're right.
Because he says he should be a comedian. She's like, what about the leg? And that's fun. But I don't remember what the...
Joke, actually.
The first joke was. But... Yeah, so... Some stuff happens, and then they end up, fucking on the waterbed.
Mm-hmm.
Because, they figure out, like, oh, he had an engagement ring in the jacket pocket, which she's had this jacket
forever.
For a while.
Yeah.
Like, you'd think she might have been like, what's that? But, whatever. I don't know. And then they end up making love, and then that's when the missing reel happens, as she's, like, posed on all fours, like, completely naked.
Yeah, I was pissed.
And then it's like, missing reel. Yeah. We apologize for the inconvenience.
It's like, I know it. I'm a pervert. Just let me watch her have sex.
I know. Sorry for the inconvenience, management. And I just said, like, I dig that. Because it's like, you know what? There's never a smooth transition after a love scene. Going back from this, like, emotional thing to, like, a conflict.
What are you talking about? Here's the perfect transition. Fade to black. Fade back in. I'm hungry.
You're right.
It's the only way to do it.
You're absolutely. But yeah, I don't think we're arguing. I know you're having. I know that's a joke there. So like, I don't think there's any argument. Like it's always just kind of clunky. Like you got to go like, they fuck, and then it's like, okay, what do we do now? There, it's always like a girl putting her hair up, putting her shirt on, whatever the fuck, and then I just like that they got to like.
It's like, anyways, it's on fire.
It's on fire, and yet they're still inside. So the whole place is completely on fire, but yet the parts of the building they need.
Oh yeah, perfectly intact. They're fine.
Yeah, it's all good.
We got plenty of time.
She runs out with her stump leg. He's like, I never miss. He's shooting everybody, which apparently when he comes, he never misses too. That comes up later. Because she's pregnant and he dies and all this shit.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Spoilers!
But, Sheriff Higgs apologizing to him. He's like, if I knew you were El Rey. And it's like, okay, so who is that?
Yeah. Nope. We'll never know.
So they figure it out. He's got JT's got a big, like a convertible car
Yeah.
thing. Like a 4-door deal. I don't know. It was odd. Because apparently it wasn't a convertible. It just had no roof.
Yeah.
That was the thing. Oh, okay. And then there's a motorcycle. And she kept talking about all her useless talents.
Yeah.
Useless talent 62, maybe, was the motorcycle. I don't remember. He's like, you have a car? Yeah. They get to the car. Both tires are flat. She's like, well, I got a mini bike in the trunk. And then, he's like fleet being led by this mini bike, and he's, knees on his shoulders.
But like they didn't give a shit. Like this was dead serious to them. Still, they were just like, meh.
Yeah.
One of the things I made note of, just backing up a little bit there,
Yeah.
Was with the doctor lady when she was coming in. She was still kind of shaking from Tony shooting himself. Tony was a kid, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay, Tony shooting himself in the face or whatever.
He is now.
Yeah. He's like, what did I tell you? Don't point this gun at yourself. Didn't I tell you that? And then immediately changes to the scene of the sheriff. And he's like, hey, thanks for telling me that. Because they were having like a completely separate conversation. And they were just right after each other. And I was like, oh, that's rough.
Yeah. He's like, well, all people I thought would shoot me. I didn't think it'd be you. Looking at his fucking dopey buddy.
But, and then I made note, too, of like when they're like, get that man a gun. Give him all the guns. You don't need to grab the
He's
two
like,
revolvers.
Sheriff, this man! And he's like, give him the gun!
But then he starts flipping them all around, and then I was like, oh, Metal Gear reference. I think it was like Ocelot or something.
Okay.
He does like a really fanciful like gun spinning trick thing. I was like, that gives vibes of that kind of thing, but
Word.
it also looked kind of dopey
Sweet.
and goofy too.
I mean, yeah, it's cool. Like, it's cheesy. Like the dude that's all nice with the gun flips is like cheesy, but like it's cool.
Yeah.
So.
It's cool that he can do it, but like just watch him be like, cool. Zombies. We get shit to do. Get some perspective.
Yeah.
But I also said it was kind of interesting. One more thing for that. So while they were all still inside before they'd even left, he's like, everyone outside! So they all run outside. They start blamming all the Zambamas and whatnot. And then some of them start retreating. I was like, I don't think I've ever seen zombies retreat from nothing in my entire goddamn life.
Yeah.
And then just a shit ton more of them came in. And then he's like, everyone back inside! like we ran outside, we killed a couple zombies, treated back inside, and we're like, we need a car, we need to get out of here.
Like, you go out. Yeah, the strip club dude, he won't go out.
Yeah.
And it's like, Cherry's like, I'll go. He's like, come on, Cherry, I never miss. He's like, okay.
It's like, alright, bud.
And he gets there. Some of those special effects were cool with the zombies catching fire. The dudes in like the big suits that they just like soak in flammable shit. It's fun. But yeah, so they escape. I said the mini bike's a funny touch. Bold move to kill the dog.
Yeah. I wrote down not the fucking doggo. Like there was no reason to.
And then JT was just like, he's like, no, whatever his name. Let's say it was Baxter. I don't know what the fuck it was, just because that's what Ron Burgundy calls dogs. And I think it's funny. And his dog, anyway. Ron Burgundy podcast is funny. Just, Baxter. We'll call him Baxter here. I don't know what the fuck his name was, but he's like, no, Baxter, God damn it! Like he gets like sprayed in the face with his blood. He's like, God damn it! He's like, Jesus, that was bold.
Well, I think the evil twins too. I think they got
got sprayed completely
soaked
in
in blood. Yeah, it's rough.
That was. It was funny, but at the same time, you're like, oh, dog.
Yeah. Well, we have the double whammy. You don't kill kids and you don't kill dogs, and
killed them both.
Kill them both.
Breaking rules. I mean, it's all fiction. It's fine.
Sure.
they get to that military base gate, and they shoot all the zombies at the entrance. And I just said, "You're telling me one stray bullet didn't hit anyone?"
Yeah, it's not like they were like at a downward angle. Like it was just straight across, like me shooting in your direction.
Yeah, I mean they're on the truck, but like it's not like they were like,
Yeah.
you know, you got to be high for no strays to hit the people directly behind those zombies.
That's fine.
It's cool. So then they're all kind of taken captive, and it's all a whole thing, and so they start to. The girls get taken away by Quentin Tarantino. This is arguably his most unflattering character ever, but he does a good job.
Yeah.
With it.
He was very horny.
Very horny. Dick very cheesy. That's how I could best describe it. As like cheese was just like melting down.
God.
Like, oh no, it's all cheesy and greasy.
Yeah, of all the things, that's definitely what, like, I was just like, you just saw it
it's
coming down in glumps and
He's
falling
got
off.
cheese junk.
Yeah. That was rough.
But when they were breaking out, because the girls get taken away.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
one quick comment on that. One of the things I looked up is while they were going down the elevator, and Quentin Tarantino was kind of getting horny at the girls a little bit.
Yeah.
Like as he was getting more aggressive, there was like this magenta
the
color
light.
that
They
came
talked
over
about
to
that,
it. I
yeah.
thought that was really cool.
Yeah, Robert Rodriguez talked about that. He's like, okay, so then as it's heating up, it kind of make it red.
Yeah. Elicits the tone of like anger and frustration, and we're gonna
And you
rape
start
ya.
to see that boil, like the
Yeah.
stuff boil because he hasn't put the mask on.
Man, does that
Which
act
then-
fast?
But then why doesn't his face do it? Is it because all the blood's in his dick when he's gonna rape her, and so maybe that's why the face doesn't boil, just the dick starts melting
Maybe.
when it comes off before. He's like, you need the gas. He's like, no, I just have to make it quick. I'm like,
It's like, with what? What are you gonna put in there?
you're just gonna like throw it at her vagina, like, oh, so good.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? Doesn't make any sense. So anyway, JT starts talking about his barbecue sauce as a distraction, and then he ends up getting shot. Ray's giving up the gun. He does the fucking badass pistol
Yeah,
flip.
that
He's
was
like, here
sick.
you go. And then he's like, boom! Just flips it around, shoots
Yeah.
the guy. Badass.
I like that the secret ingredient was blood, though, for the
Yeah.
the recipe. He's like, oh my god, it's the blood. I need something like the blood.
Salt. Blood's salty. Yeah.
Just absolutely obsessed with this
When
recipe.
They had Michael Biehn and the guy that played JT sitting there in one of the interviews on special features, and he's the guy that plays JT's like, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, this movie's about barbecue.
There's a big focus on it.
Do you like some soon-to-be award-winning barbecue? And then there's the little confrontation in the basement there. Because they get out. Apparently, the English dude, takes some more testicles.
Yeah. He's got to rebuild his collection.
Yeah. Their balls.
Yeah. So one small thing in that scene. Ray was like passed out. He kind of woke up or came to in that jail cell
Yeah.
that already had him in it, and then he was like, "Is that you, Ray?"
El Ray?
It's like, how long have you been in here? Like, you can see him lying on the ground. What do you mean? Is that you, Ray?
Well, yeah. Obviously, El Ray has been... What I've deduced is that he must have been an army guy, because the fucking... Like, the guys at the gate know.
Yeah.
And this English Indian scientist, whatever the fuck he is...
Ball collector.
Ball collector. The ball collector scientist guy.
Mm-hmm.
He knows who he is. He's like, all right,
Yeah.
that's you?
Well, I'm trying to remember. I don't remember if, like, Bruce Willis's character, like, alluded that he knew of El Ray, or if it was just El Ray knew of kind of, like, that operation he was involved in with Bin Laden or whatever.
And then I was like, Bin Laden... That's my note, literally. Bin Laden didn't die till 2011.
That's just what the papers say.
Yeah, I know, right? That was the thing, is these were supposed to be, like, exploitation, sexploitation, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, like, the Iraq thing was kind of still a thing, and so they're like, oh, well, what would be a thing? Like, oh, the guys went over to Iraq and they brought something back. That's scary, so.
Yeah. Lines up.
Yeah. I wrote Melting Dick. That's the guy from earlier, huh? So the gun. So he walks in, finds Cherry. Melted dick guy. By the way, how did the stake through his eye not kill him?
If it just wasn't far enough into his eye, I guess.
I guess, but she stepped on. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I don't know. So, like, I mean, you have like the cranial bone. Maybe it wasn't enough pressure to like get past it.
Maybe.
But I mean, yeah, she hit it with some gusto. I gotta imagine that he should have been dead. But
I mean,
maybe it was just an excuse to have it look cool.
Yeah.
Because I can't imagine he would have been very horny after having it gone through his eye. Also, Zambamba stuff running through him. Maybe that, makes him harder to kill.
Hard to kill. That's a different movie.
Death Proof. Still a different movie.
Pulp Fiction.
We're getting close.
What are we doing? Okay. So then, Ray comes in. He's got of course, with all Ray's free time in this, in this hour they've been here,
it's like
he's fashioned a gun that fits in her leg, and he throws it in there
with the latest mind control technology. Because obviously she's not down there pulling the trigger or nothing.
Yeah, that was believe me, it's in there. I not sure, like, how the fuck does she fire? How does she switch it to...
How does she reload?
How does she reload? How does she switch it to fire the fucking rocket launchers? Like, what? How? And, she figures it out. Boom! Blasts Tarantino's character through the door.
He's like, Jerry, would you mind opening the door for us? And then, just blasts them away. And
then there's the dudes in there. She fucking fires at them. And then she puts her leg down and the radio's on. That was Tarantino's idea, I guess, is he was like, hey, shoot the radio.
Yeah.
And so then she shoots the radio. Yeah, not sure how that leg thing works. Again, the leg doesn't really... And I had wrote down the stump thing, the table leg thing. That's where I was going to say it. But we brought it up earlier, so we won't bring it up again. Don't bring it up.
Anyways.
So that happens, and then they leave, and of course, Cherry's ready to shoot people with her leg, and that's pretty much like what you're building to the whole movie. When you see the cover of the movie is the girl with the gun on her leg, it's like that's what you're building to.
Yeah.
And they don't disappoint in the end of the movie. She's on the back of a motorcycle shooting everybody with her leg. She, blows on the gun.
It was super extra, but there was still the goddamn that's cool.
Yeah, and then she gets like flung over the. She launches herself off the ground by, firing the launcher.
Yeah.
And, goes over, shoots everybody, fires the launcher again, fires another rocket, which is like unlimited ammo, for action sequences, obviously.
This is a very advanced gun. All right, we got mind control, we got auto reload, a lot of upgrades.
Yeah. So, launches herself, launches another one, lands, spins, shoots everybody. Something explodes, rolls out of the way. A lot of cool stuff going on.
There was one there. I remember there being a guy with like a rocket launcher. He shot it, and that's when she did one of the useless talents.
Yeah, one of the useless talents. Which, I would argue, riding a motorcycle, not a useless talent.
Yeah.
Especially, in the situation you're in. That thing, obviously now not a useless talent, which is, kind of obviously written in, she's going to say these are all useless talents, and then she's going to use them, so... whatever.
Yeah.
And then girl with, the wrist. I don't know what that useless talent was supposed to be, because she was like useless talent number whatever, the blonde girl, when her wrist was just okay all of a sudden. And she shoots the, I don't know, whatever,
the other
dart at the Tarantino guy. I know we've just moved backwards spontaneously, but I just remembered.
The passage of time is convoluted.
When we're talking about a movie. And we're just like, hey, what about this? It's kind of open for anything.
But yeah, and number one, just the coolest contraption is that you just have a syringe gun that you can just launch at people.
Yeah.
It's what part of your day-to-day job makes use of that? No part. She just thought it looked cool.
Yeah. Swivels it back in like she's a fucking quick draw,
Yeah. Very convenient time for her to
and
regain
she calls
motor
this
function.
thing a useless talent, and it's definitely like the wrist that was broken. And I'm like, well, if you can heal your wrist in a matter of 2 hours, then that is not a useless talent.
She's a doctor.
I mean, I'm just saying that cannot be called a useless talent number, whatever.
Yeah.
If you can heal your wrist in 2 hours, that's very useful talent. I'd be breaking my wrist all the time if I could heal it too. I'd be way more reckless if I could heal limbs.
What if it was like only her wrist? Like she just had like a very advanced wrist, and that was the only part of her that would regenerate and come back every time.
All right, well that's slightly useless, but it's not quite useless if,
Yeah. But to be fair, she did fall from a second story and was pretty mint, so maybe she's tough.
Probably all. She's some sort of creature, I guess.
Yeah.
Is what we're deciding, but all right. Wouldn't call being a good shot, riding a motorcycle, or dodging rockets useless talents. That's the other thing. Her leg just got eaten tonight, and they just keep shoving shit in there.
Yeah.
I would think she'd be in a crazy amount of pain. I mean, you gotta think maybe 3 hours ago her leg was eaten.
Maybe the drugs were still pumping through her system,
Yeah, but they just keep shoving shit in there, man. I don't know. It's a lot.
It's fine. She's gonna wake up the next day and be like, you know what, my leg hurts. And they're just like, what leg?
Like nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
That's the other thing. That's like, you can't be too much of an asshole with this kind of thing, because it's just like, okay,
yeah,
look, it's all fantasy, sci-fi kind of deal. Like,
we're here to have fun.
We're here to have fun. Don't think about it. Don't overthink it. You're right. So yeah, Ray gets shot. There's a lot of stuff. It gets messy.
It branches off again where we see everyone's simultaneous storyline here.
Yeah, she does her whole thing where she shoots everybody with the gun. There's one last guy. Ray comes around the corner, saves her, but he gets shot to death in the process. I mean, that guy really unloaded as he was dying. And Ray just really ate a couple that killed him. They have their final little talk. It was like 2 against the world. It's like, it will be. Trust me, I never miss. And he like touches her belly.
It was really weird.
Yeah.
But I guess
I'm just like, wow, that's some confidence, because then what if like
yeah,
what if like
plenty of ways to go wrong there.
Yeah, she just like, later in the month, she's like, oh man, that was a period. Fuck.
Just me again.
Could have been the saddest unfulfilled promise ever. I never miss. She's just sitting on the toilet one day going, yeah, you do.
You fucker.
Fuck. Anyway, although the world ended, she might not have been sitting on any toilets. So, oh well.
I think you'd still find a toilet.
Yeah, true. Yeah. And then how the hell did she fire that thing? Unlimited ammo. I said, yeah, Earl. He came back, saved her on the helicopter, because we haven't seen Earl in a while.
Yeah.
They all left from JT's barbecue, and he was like, don't worry, I can take care of myself. And you were like, that guy's dead. At least I was.
Yeah, it would have made sense just to kill him off, because
I was like, there's no way that guy survives there. But apparently he just stayed at JT's barbecue and killed a fuck ton of zombies. And then he just pops up because, Dr. Block pops up once more. The bad one.
Right.
Because I can't remember his first name, and this is a half-assed podcast. I'm not looking up his name right now. And he's in the back of the helicopter. He's like, they told me I could find you here. It's beginning to worry.
Looking mad grody.
Yeah. And, he's about to do some bad things to her, and then, Sheriff Earl McGraw pops up.
Yeah.
Boom!
Thanks, Daddy.
But I never cared for him anyway. About as useless as a pecker on a pope.
Yep.
So I just said, yeah, Earl. And then in the end, just on a horse, Mexico, back to the ocean.
We're just going to skip over the final little chat with Bruce Willis and him turning into a super mega mutant.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I figured we talked about the balls thing so many times. Man, we mentioned the Bin Laden thing, but yeah, you got more on that?
Well, yeah, just, you know, they get to him. We kind of have, like, our final confrontation. And, you know, they do their dialogue of, like, where it actually came from. And, you know, was on this mission. And he's like, there I was. Happened to kill Osama bin Laden. I shouldn't have been the guy. We shouldn't have been there. He shouldn't have been dead. Like, you know, it was all wrong. Bring back the DC-2 or whatever. And then, yeah, he takes his mask off. He turns into, you know...
He just blows up like 3 times
just
the
this
size.
Resident Evil-looking motherfucker, you know? He just gets all mad and gross.
In a matter of like 10 seconds, too.
And then, yeah, El Rey's like, you know, your country, or thank you for your service to this country, or whatever, gives him like a very patriotic send-off, and then just murks the shit out of him.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
Just wanted to touch on it. It was just funny and silly.
You were right, too. I did kind of miss it, yeah.
But it was a weird kind of send-off, but it was kind of funny, especially just because none of Bruce Willis' scenes were really, like, done with anybody. They just, like, had him by himself and kind of just made it look like...
Yeah, when you think about how that was shot and how, like... Basically, that was, like, Ray and the English dude standing there. And then, you know, it's their balls. Like, and he just throws it to somebody.
Yeah.
And then, like, somebody throws it back and he's like...
I love balls.
Yeah. And then Ray says to no one, like, country thanks you for your service. Yeah. Yeah. Probably also should mention that the English dude that's supposed to come up with the cure, he gets his head blown apart.
It's fine.
So that's fun. I did skip over a couple things. You're right. I'm working on the formula.
You're good. That's why we're here.
Yeah. Hopefully these podcasts get better. That's the goal. Just knocking them out all the time.
We do a little better every time.
Hopefully.
That's the goal.
We're hoping. So anyway, yeah, they're, you know, back to the ocean, yada yada. She's got a fucking minigun as a leg now. Mm-hmm. So where the fuck do those bullets go?
Yeah, there's no ammunition hanging off the side of it.
Yeah, and then I'm just ready for ratings if you are.
Sure.
Unless you got any other lingering notes.
What I wanted to touch on was that, you know, as she was on the horse, they were kind of coming up there. Number one, having the child kind of leading the pack here, just running free and amok. Maybe not the best idea.
No. Not great.
So that was stupid. And then I liked, we saw the completely regular Mexico, not completely destroyed, but just what Mexico looks like today in the background with all the destroyed buildings.
Yeah.
Thought that was nice.
Yeah.
It's like they didn't even have to do CGI or anything. That's just the...
He did say that, like, all the crew was, because they were trying to keep budgets down, the crew was excited to go shoot in Tulum, Mexico.
Yeah.
And then he was, like, they just came to set one day and he just had a bunch of sand and a green screen in a parking lot. And everybody's like, oh,
man.
And then he's like, well, I don't really need you guys for Tulum. I just need to shoot, like, ooh, Tulum. So, like, I just found that funny of, like, get everybody's hopes. Like, the part where we shoot in Tulum. Like, you mean the parking lot? So, that's
but
funny.
Then, like, how it came into, we're kind of doing, like, the pan out. We kind of see, like, this... like this ruins and then like a beach scene or whatever, and people are just out swimming and bullshit. I was like, weird tone we're setting here. Like, they didn't seem that far away, and they were just murking a zombie. It's like, how protected is this place?
Yeah, the strip club.
Like, it's a very
on the beach with the twins on them. Like,
I was like, I don't feel safe for you guys. I feel like you need to be doing more.
Yeah.
But
the fact that they're all just basically kind of posing for a picture.
Yeah.
Like, they're not all doing each their own, like, individual things. Like, they're all just like, it's like, yeah, this is what we do on a beach, man. We look like we're posing for a picture.
Just very goofy way to kind of wrap it up.
Yeah. Yeah. It's fine enough.
Yeah.
I want to say, as I rate it, I want to have kind of a disclaimer. I enjoyed it, and it's fun. And I'd watch it again. Just because I rated it low doesn't mean that, I didn't like it. But it's definitely like 6-ish for me.
Sure.
Yeah. That's the whole thing.
All right.
That's all I got.
Cool. So I'd be sitting at 6.5. That feels pretty good for me. Definitely did really enjoy it. Like
It's
I said,
more rewatchable, ironically, than
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I said, I get a lot out of like those kind of like weird zombie movies that are like just kind of off. Like Land of the Dead was one of the ones that was like, it had just like a lot of like kind of awkward scenes kind of sprinkled throughout it. Some things were just really ridiculous. But like, just because some of those weird zombie movies where they're just trying to make it their own kind of flavor of it,
Yeah.
or try to make it like, well, this is how these people would react in a zombie apocalypse, rather than just a generic kind of thing.
Yeah.
I like that they kind of go in their own way and make it.
No, I don't even like 6. I'm going 7. Fuck it.
7.
it's just, I forgot. So we do the numbers with Bond and I've forgotten that I like letter grades better, and so I would say that this is also a C-.
Okay.
But yeah, sorry, go on.
They're good. But yeah, so I get a lot of novelty just out of like that kind of interpretation of like the zombie movies and the formula and whatnot. And I mean, you can't not just fucking strap a gun to a lady's leg and not be at
It's a
least
sweet concept.
barely interesting. The only bad part is just that it was that late into it. But I feel like the novelty would have burned out if we had that too early on. So
they gave it at the right time, and they delivered on it. Like it was good.
Yeah. But yeah, 6.5 feels right.
Yeah. I'm going C- still. And yeah. So sounds like we're at the end.
Yeah, I can live with that.
This was fun. Planet of Terror. Listen to part 1 if you want to. Constant Crisis on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks. Oh, email us at constantcrisishotline@yahoo.com, at constantcrisis1 on Twitter. And thanks for viewing or listening, and goodbye.